Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, beautiful, blessed people of God. I hope and I pray that all is well with each and every one of you on today. It is Thankful Thursday, and I am indeed thankful to be here on today. I say good morning to each of my platforms that I am streaming live from: Instagram, Facebook Live, and of course, YouTube. And if you're not subscribed to my YouTube channel, I don't know what you're waiting on because that's where you're going to see the replay. So if you missed an episode, if you miss a moment in time, you can definitely check it out on my Instagram channel, Shaniqua Inspires. So I say good morning to you all. Welcome to the morning talks. I was going to say the morning walk and talks. We used to be the morning walk and talks, but we are currently and have been the morning talks for quite a while now. Just because I'm doing the whole streaming thing. When I was just going live on Facebook, it was better because then I could just have my cell phone and I could be out in the elements. But truth be told, your girl don't really like to be out in the elements. It really wreaks havoc on my nervous system. Okay. The encounters with the squirrels jumping from trees seems cute and harmless. But it does disrupt your nervous system, puts you on guard a lot. And I think as a New Yorker, being on guard is our birthright. So we want to try to calm the nervous system as much as possible. The encounters with the dogs, it was just a little too much, and it coincided with me having to be on recovery, and so therefore being in my bed, being stationary, streaming was the best thing. And so here we are streaming live, and I am grateful. And so today, I mean, the purpose of this, and I'm just doing like a quick recap for those of you who may not be familiar with me. I'm Dr. Shaniqua Johnson, aka Shaniqua Inspires, and I do these morning talks as the Lord leads me. He gives me a message, I share the message, we do revelations. Um, we did some dream interpretation yesterday, which was pretty cool. I always love when the Lord allows me to share. I actually had a dream last night that I was on a cruise ship. Yeah, that I was on a cruise ship ordering drinks. Yeah, that's what it was. I have no idea. In all honesty, it means something. I know it means something. It just seems so frivolous, for lack of a better word, that like I don't even bother. Like certain dreams I have where I will ride God all the days, asking for revelation. Like, what does that mean? Help a girl out. Like, give me a clue. Give me a hint. And there are other dreams. I'm like, what? I don't even have the time, the energy to seek Him after that. But I do have a feeling that it's meant for me to call a friend of mine, and so I will make certain that I do that today. That I have to be intentional, right? Um, so we did dream interpretation a little bit yesterday, which was really profound. So if you actually missed yesterday's message, that's where the goods were. So you should go back and you should take a look at yesterday's message. Um, but most of the time, like, it's just however the Lord leads. Sometimes there's a beautiful message. Sometimes it's just good greetings, and I bid you on with the rest of your day. So you just never know what you're gonna get. But hopefully you have a little fun. Hopefully, we build a little rapport, and you gain something out of it, right? And like I said, if you miss and like I said, we've been doing this for years. We've been doing this for years. I just gave it a title, I don't know, maybe a year, 2 years ago. I don't know. We've been calling it the morning walk and talks, the morning talks, for about a year now. But like, I've been doing these live videos for years. Just never had a title to it, right? Didn't realize that it was a podcast. Right. I just thought it was something that I did in the morning. I didn't consider it like my podcast because I had Sisterly Sundays I had Sisterly Sundays podcast, and then I had the Black Girl Encourager. And I was like, okay, I got two podcasts. I never realized that, girl, you get up Monday through Friday and you're talking to people for at least an hour. That's a podcast as well. But I'm grateful for that revelation. And so we categorized it and we created a playlist. And so you will be able to catch all of what you miss on there. And also, you have my podcast, The Black Girl Encourage Her. That's over there. We no longer do Sisterly Sundays, but guess what? The beautiful thing about YouTube is that it's all over there as well. So, like, if you want to check out what we used to do with that, you can certainly catch all of that good stuff on my YouTube channel, Shaniqua Inspires. And I'm actually not that far away from getting hitting the 1K mark. So if you are willing to support, go on over to my YouTube channel, Shaniqua Inspires, and hit the subscribe button to get your girl over to the 1K mark. I feel like I've just been hovering. That's been the goal for so long. And it's like, Lord, we're not that far away. So we've got to see. And matter of fact, that's probably what I need to do. Where's my interns? Let me see. Yeah, I think I might have this someone. I've got some interns that are helping me out, so I might. Yeah, I think I might need to assign someone. I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm assign someone to create some stuff to kind of see how we can promote getting me to the 1K. Like we ain't even that far. I think I'm at like 970, 972, something like into that. I'm like, gee whiz, can we bring some folks out of the woodwork so that we can get to our 1K mark? So we may create a plan, a strategy, or something to um, see what we can do over the summer. Good morning, good morning, good morning, Carol. Blessings to you. Oh, let me peek and see if there's anybody. Hey, Kayla, how are you, honey bunch? Hey, Bernadette, blessings to you. I saw the numbers go up. I'm like, wait a second, somebody must be watching over on Instagram. I say good morning to each and every one of you. So yeah, so that was just like my quick recap of what the journey is and what the purpose of these morning talks are, just to give you a little morning inspiration, same as you would turn to, what was it, used to be Regis and Kelly, and now it's Kelly and Mark, and it's been Kelly and Michael and all these other people, same as you would tune into The View, and it's similar to that. Like you sit and you listen to them talk, and a lot of times they're talking politics. Politics is not really one of the areas that I try to Hey, good morning, Aunt Pat. Blessings to you. I try not to get into the political space because it irks my nerves. So you really won't hear me speaking about politics, but we talk about some good stuff over here too. We start out with the weather. We be warming people up. We be getting people engaged, right? That's like my little monologue. But then sometimes the Lord will have me hit straight into a message. So again, if you missed yesterday's message, now yesterday was a message. So you have to make certain that you go back to my YouTube channel, Shaniqua Inspires, and you hit the subscribe button, and then you check out yesterday's message. However, some days I do have something to say, some days I do not. But yesterday, just kind of as a quick recap, we went over a dream, that I had. The Lord allowed me to share a dream. And oftentimes when I do have dreams, they're not always shareable. Oftentimes when the Lord reveals something to me, they're not always shareable. And I'm that type of person that I like to share everything. I want to tell everybody everything. And there are certain things that you have to leave between you and the Lord, or you have to be led as to whom you should share with, because um, sometimes when you're airing your good news, your good cheers, yes, people are on the surface saying, yay, go you, congratulations, but sometimes in the background there's a hint of, well, why, how come she gets to do that, or um why is she doing that, and how come I don't get a chance to do that, right? And it's not even though someone's intentions are ill, but it just evokes that kind of response from them. And so we do have to be careful. Now, does that mean that, we shouldn't share our good news and we shouldn't speak to our people? Because, in all honesty, when I get on these platforms, I'm hoping that I am speaking to my people. But even your people can have a hint of jealousy, a hint of envy. right? Right? So you have to be led. And it's not that I try to be evasive, but I try my very best to be led by what it is that I share and what it is that I say, because I realize there is a great responsibility, right? What is it? Stan Lee says, in the Marvel series, he's noted for saying, like, with great with great power comes great responsibility. And so, as the Lord is positioning us in these places, space plus places, right? The spaces, as He's positioning us on these platforms and in these different realms and environments, the discernment is going to be key, because when He bestows upon us this authority, this influence, there is great power, right? And people always look at the great power behind it, but you don't look at the responsibility. They don't know what it costs for you to carry that mantle, to have that weight, to be in those spaces, those places, those places, right? They don't know what that looks like, and how much it cost you. So I can hit the big stage and I can give this marvelous, inspiring, conversation, and people are coming and they're, oh, this is great. They want your attention and all of that. But then you don't see the behind the scenes, right? When people want to sit and share, and they're pouring out to you, and now who's going to carry all of that? And so there is a great responsibility, and sometimes we forget that there is a responsibility to it all, right? A lot of times we think about, well, I'm responsible to share it. Indeed, but you also have to be in alignment with God's timing of it all, because you can have the most wondrous thing to say, but if you release it at the wrong time, it could do more harm than good. And so we always want our intentions to be aligned. And we just want to be mindful, and we want to be aware. And, our intention should never be to do harm. Right. And so I am trying my very best to seek the Lord and say, okay, when should I share? When should I hold back? And it's not that I'm trying to be secretive. It's just simply I have to be led, right? Because again, I'm yielding this great power, and I have a responsibility over it. Like back in the days when I didn't realize that there was a responsibility attached to it, yeah, whatever. I'd get up, I'd share, I'd whatever. But you don't know what happens. And yes, it's up to God, right? It is up to God to deal with those all, but I never want to be have my good spoken ill upon with me delivering it in the wrong time. So these messages, ideally, yes, sometimes I ramble on. Yes, sometimes I have a really, really profound and great and earth moving message. But I try to be yielded by God, and I only release, like, I don't prepare a script. I don't have a sermon. I don't have, stuff written down that I want to share with you all. And I was actually doing some work, because I have interns now, over the summer, and I was actually doing some work. Yes, yesterday I was working. Okay, I did watch SVU yesterday. I did. Right, but I probably watched just a few episodes because I had work to do. So your girl had to, for real, do some work. And so I did some work. Yeah, yesterday was my stay-at-home work day, and I was doing some research. And in the research, it was, I was just kind of like, going through Chat GPT and asking about, um, how to, like, matter of fact, I didn't even ask Chat GPT how to enhance what it was I was doing, right? I didn't ask it that, but Chat GPT sometimes just goes on a tangent and starts telling you stuff that you didn't even ask for. And so it starts telling me that I should be more like scripted. Like, so I should have notes, and I should have like a script. So this way I can tell people what I'm going to talk about to entice them to want to join the show. And I was like, yeah, okay. I'm like, that sounds good for the Black Girl Encourage Her, because I have guests on the Black Girl Encourage Her, and that's actually a pre recorded segment. So, yeah, I know what we're going to talk about before it airs. So, in that essence, yes, that concept will work. However, with my morning talks, I don't be knowing. I be sitting here just like y'all be sitting here waiting for the Lord to share something. I don't be knowing. I don't. I would say 3% of the time, 3% of the time, I be knowing what I'm gonna talk about. 3%. Now, so I'm like, y'all guess is as good as mine. Like, you just gotta tune in, and you gotta see. Listen, Regis, not Regis. Regis is off the show. Kelly and her husband, Michael. Is that Michael? No, that Michael Strahan. Mark. Kelly and Mark. Kelly don't be telling y'all, what's going to happen. Now, if they pre-record and they know who's going to be on the show, they might say, tune in tomorrow. Will Smith going to be on here. And I don't know if he is, because I don't watch those shows. So don't quote me on it. That just was an example. But they might tell you something like that, but they don't tell you like everything as to what they're going to be talking about. You just got to tune in to find out. So that's kind of like what this morning talk is about, and I am committed to being here Monday through Fridays at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And so I always appreciate individuals who do tune in, who do show up, who do drop by when you can. I know some people's schedules are different, and you can't always be, have an hour carved out of your day to sit here and listen to me ramble on. But it is a nice space to have fun, uplifting, encouraging, inspiring conversation. So one of my interns, one of my interns was doing like a research. They start out with research, and I asked them to describe this morning talk. And I didn't want to tell them what the show is about. I just wanted them to go tell me what they thought it was about. So having brand new eyes on the situation, what does this show mean to you? Like, if you've never heard of it before, you don't know what it is, what does it mean to you? And they said something that was really, really profound to me. And I can tell it was in their words. It wasn't a chat GPT spit out. It was in their words. And I love the way they described it. And it was like the conversation, and I'll look it up in verbatim, and I'll, probably use that. But basically what they were saying, it was like, this show is not just for inspiration, right? So I've even grown away from saying that I'm a motivational speaker, because there's more to it. Like, it's not my plight in life to motivate you. Like, duh. Like, I got other stuff to do. I ain't got time to be your cheerleader. The Lord didn't call me to be no daggone cheerleader. That has not been in any of my repertoires in all of my years of living. I ain't no daggone cheerleader. Um, Lord, that's funny. That's funny. That's funny. Let me share with y'all what the Holy Spirit meant. We sitting here just chuckling. My bad, you guys. Because I was saying, like, I've never been a cheerleader. And I was saying, in fact, like, when I watch sports, I act more like the coach. Like, so I'm not the player. I'm not the cheerleader. And so I'm like, okay, well, what role do I play? And the role that I play is the coach. And that's kind of exactly what one of my interns had came up with when they were, just kind of summarizing what these segments are about. And they were like, it's not just inspiration, it's not just motivation, and it's more like a coach. It's more like in your face, like you got to face this reality. But I give it to you in the baby steps, like into the health coaches, right? Like we break it down into the baby steps so that you can get it, right? So the stuff that we may be talking about, you may not want to hear. You may not want to hear, I don't need no mindset shift. Everything is fine in my world. I don't need no mindset shift. Okay, that might be your story. But if ever you want to grow, if ever you want to evolve, if you ever have like that hashtag goal that I've had for many years, I always want more. So this is I had put this up on my Facebook post. I was like, all of this cooking every day is for the birds, right? Because I had to cook last night. I had to cook the night before. But then I said to myself, I was like, you ain't got nobody to blame but yourself, because when you cook, you are eating up all of the food that you make. I mean, for goodness sakes, your girl is only making vegetables. So like I can eat so like when I like so the other day I had some string beans, and they were the very thin string beans, not French cut, but very thin string beans. And I needed something to eat, right? And so I had some frozen string beans in the freezer, and I threw them on an air fryer tray. I threw some frozen peppers and onions on the tray, drizzled some olive oil, hit it with a little of my complete seasoning, and threw it in the air fryer. Turned it when they say turned it, and then ta-da, I had my food. Took it out, hit it with a little slap your mama, and your girl had dinner. So when I snapped a picture of it was when I put my little small portion on the plate. But then as you sitting there watching SVU and you eating your little seasoned veggies and they hitting, you get up and you get some more, and then the next thing you know, I have finished a whole tray of veggies. So I had to cook last night. So I was like, okay, well, what can I make last night? Now, mind you, I did have more frozen string beans, so I could have did a replica, but I decided to go with the spinach. So I had some spinach, and this time instead of throwing it in the air fryer, I put it on the stove. I sauteed my onions and peppers. I threw the spinach in there. I did have some shrimp, so I threw some shrimp in there as well. Cooked it up a little bit, threw some cheese in it, and ta-da! I had me a nice little shrimp and spinach dip. And I was eating that real good. So I said the reason why you have to cook every day is because you're eating up the food, so it ain't nobody's problem but your own, right? So I did have to cook again, but the reality is, okay, I have to eat. I have to eat. So you have to cook, but I'm not doing anything like so outlandish, so like where it takes me hours in the kitchen. No, I'm doing what it is that I can't, right? So, and I really kind of lost my train of thought with that, but that was funny to me. But needless to say, I'm presenting reality, right? I'm presenting reality to you all. And even if I have to break it down into tiny little doses, that's the type of coach that I am, right? So that look, basically, Carol, basically, right? So you're getting like free coaching from this, and it is about incrementally moving to the next step. Oh, and that's what I was talking about. The more I have a desire for more. So you give me a little bit, I always want more. I have been known to say that I want more. You let me, the Lord allows me to write one book. Um, okay, one book ain't good enough. Now I need to know where the second and the third, and then boom, here I am with 15. See, I done lost count how many books I have under my belt now. And it's not because like I'm so cocky, like, oh, I got all of these books. No, it's because like whenever the Lord tells me this is what needs to be shared, then that's what gets shared. And truth be told, I actually haven't written a book in 3 years. I was like, Lord, that's interesting. I haven't written a book in 3 years. And I'm like, why? Writing a book, that hasn't been a challenge for me for years now. Like I can crank them out like easy peasy. And this relates back to what we were talking about yesterday. What if the Lord allowed me to write those books not for me, right? For other people. And in that 3 year hiatus, that I guess we can call it, since it's been then since I've written, because my last book was actually The Power of Choice. Um, and over those 3 years, is I've helped a number of people write multiple books. So I've been on this journey helping people to get where I'm at. So it's not just me adding more books to it. Like I could have cranked out 40, 50 books by now. But it's what do you do in the interim? And in the interim, I've been helping other people crank them out. Like my brother started out with one book. This dude is up to like four. I think my brother and Sean are tied at 4 books each. So I don't know which one of them is going to be the tiebreaker. I have a feeling I know who it will be, but you just never know. You just never know. So we gonna see. But that's what I've been doing in the interim. And so what we were talking about yesterday, and I used the example from SVU, and it actually hit me again on yesterday while I was watching it, because Olivia Benson, Detective Olivia Benson, that's Mariska, y'all. Y'all know we love us some Mariska, but her character, she is the detective, and she goes out to see special victims, people who have experienced been victims of rape, sexual traumas, things of that nature. And for years, her story was always she was a child of rape. Her mother was raped and had her rapist baby. So she had to live that lifestyle. But then it turned and she was doing um, she was undercover. She was undercover. She got this close to being raped. And it messed with her mind, because that's what trauma does. See, somebody who's gone through trauma and think that they healed, delivered, and set free, they think they all good in the hood. That's a lie. Okay? That's a lie. And the lie could be that the enemy is telling you that you okay, so that you can implode. So you got to deal with your ish. I'm just saying. You got to deal with it. You don't have to deal with it head on, right? Like you're in a freaking head on collision. You don't have to go crazy like that. And it's kind of like what we do here. We break that thing down into little bite-sized pieces. And we give you things that you can do on a daily basis to evolve, to heal, to get that true deliverance. But if you can't be delivered if you deny. If you deny what's actually going on, you can't be delivered. I know you don't want to think about it. It's taboo and da 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 da. But if you're denying it, you can't be delivered from it, because it's not your problem to be set free from, right? Because you haven't. Hey, I ain't got no issues. So I'm not suggesting that you try to eat the whole thing, but you do take it in bite size. Right? They say, how do you eat an elephant? Well, it's bite by bite. Right? It's little bit by little bit. You don't shove the whole thing in your mouth. So Olivia, she suffered a great ordeal, and it messed with her mind, and so she had to end up going to therapy. And in therapy, all of the hidden stuff is flushed up now. So it's almost like you've got reflux, because now it's like it's coming up every turn you make, it's coming up. And so we were saying yesterday, it's like sometimes we go through things not necessarily for ourselves, but for other people. And it's not that Olivia wasn't compassionate. She was very compassionate with the victim. She was very proactive towards the victims. Good morning, Danielle. So that wasn't her problem. Like, and a lot of times we think we go through things so that we can be more compassionate, more understanding. No, that wasn't her issue. She was always very compassionate to the victims, but yet and still she had to endure a trauma herself, right? She had to endure a trauma herself. And so while I'm watching SVU yesterday, I just was like, but why? And sometimes we do go through things for other people. But why that? Right? Like when you really sit down with it and you really think of it, it's like, but why did she have to go through the trauma? Because to be truthful, what ended up happening to her, at least in these this group of episodes, it made her go harder after the enemy. Woo. So normally, like, look, some just released. I hope y'all caught it, right? Let me break it down to make sure everybody is on the same page. She's usually pro victim, right? She works very hard about getting justice for the victim. She supports, she nurtures them. And then all of a sudden, she has this trauma. And now the trauma has shifted her to go after the enemy. So where it is, her partner, Detective Stabler, is known to be the hothead, the aggressive one, where she always has to say, L, like she has to pull his chain to kind of like yank him back in his seat, because he's the one that will fly off the handle. What if your trauma was to teach you how to fight? Not a trauma, but definitely a notable instance in my life where I was working at a job. Y'all heard the story, I'm sure. I was working at a job. Everything was grand, right? I love starting a new job because, being a new kid on the block, you know, easy peasy, right? Your workload's not too heavy. You're still learning the ropes, right? Like, so you having a good time, right? Your first few weeks, first few months, you have a good time on the job when you start, and because ain't nobody really demanding nothing of you. You just, kicking it, learning. 3 months in, I'm learning my ropes. I'm quiet, keeping to myself. Whatever you ask me to do, I'm doing it. I'm learning, doing a darn thing. 3 months in, now I'm being attacked. 3 months. I'm like, I ain't even fully unpack my stuff. And I'm now being attacked because I went in there, la 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 la, new job, la 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 la. But you can't go into the enemy's camp all la 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 la. And that's a part of the issue that the remnant doesn't fully understand about your responsibility. You are an atmosphere shifter. We are healers. We are deliverers. We are setting captives free. There was no part of Harriet Tubman's job that was la 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 la. No parts. Not one. Every trip, every journey, you have to tap into that kind of like aggressive mode, right? She didn't have time to convince you you needed help and give you a spoonful of honey until you made the decision. Nah, she had to be aggressive. She had to kind of, in your face, like, yo, we got to get this done. We got to move. You either in, you out, because other people's lives are at stake. I ain't got time for you to be, maybe you want to go, maybe you want to be free, maybe you don't want to be free. We ain't got time for all of that. Like, I gotta get these people to safety. I got a responsibility. So it wasn't all la 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 la. But I didn't realize that. I thought I was a child of God. I thought I was supposed to be dipped in milk and honey, right? So everywhere I go, I thought it was supposed to be sweet, right? Everybody's supposed to receive me and accept me because I'm God's daughter. Like, I'm likable. People like me. What you mean you don't like me? What you mean? What did I do to you? Did nothing. But God had to train me like, yo, yeah, you my girl. I rocks with you heavy. But not everybody gonna rocks with you. And not everybody's gonna have a daggone good reason as to why they don't rock with you. It's just because. And that's hard for somebody who likes to be liked. It's hard when somebody doesn't like you and I ain't done nothing to you. You don't even know me. How you don't like me? You were the freaking one that co-signs me getting this job. And now you don't like me? Like, what? So when I was there, I went through a hard time. And I had to learn how to fight. Well, is it Sealy from The Color Purple? All my life, I've had to fight. No, that was Oprah's character. I mean, I've had to fight. The remnant has to learn how to fight. I know the Lord fight our battles. Yes, He does. But due to the weight of what you carry, you at least got to know how to fight because they will beat you up. They will kick you. They will spit on you. They will rape you spiritually, mentally, emotionally. So it's a reality some ain't ready to face. My bad. But I got a responsibility to tell you this stuff because I asked the Lord about the intention of this morning talk. I'm like, what is the intention of it? Am I just up here shooting the breeze because I ain't got nothing else to do? No, I got plenty of other stuff to do. Trust. But one time during a conversation with the Lord, I was like, how come when I started going through stuff, I was like, how come nobody told me? And I really could have had some type of art with some of my close people because they have gone this journey before me. And it's like, dude, why you didn't tell me? And I felt like somebody should have told me Because I was all la 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 la. And over here getting black eyes, bruises, ribs cracked, and can't understand it. I'm like, why didn't somebody tell me? And so God says, you want to be the one? You want to be the one to tell the people? I'm like, well, shoot, I don't want to be the one to tell the people, but somebody need to tell the people. He's like, well, it sounds to me like you want to be the one to tell the people. He said, go for it. I already had this platform. So you be the one to tell the people. So I'm not trying to destroy you know, your dreams. I just want to share a dose of reality to you so you don't get punched in the eye and talking about, but I thought I was protected. You are protected. But part of your training is you have to learn how to fight. And that was my revelation with Olivia Benson, because I'm like, why? Why did she have to get that close? Why did she have to suffer that sexual trauma? And what came from it was, now she was a beast with the perp. Okay? She was a beast with the enemy. If you look like an enemy, you smell like an enemy, oh, she was going in on you. Now, her judgment was a little off, right? And so she was snapping at folks that really were victims themselves, right? She just, but there is a fine tuning that goes with that, right? There's a fine tuning that goes along with that. But we got to start somewhere. This boot camp, this training, we got to start somewhere. So during my 3-year hiatus of book writing, I wasn't sitting around, whoa, it's me. I wasn't just kind of creating stuff just to be creating. I was waiting to be led. Never thinking that maybe my season of book writing was over. I never thought that. But I used to ask God, like, why? How come? How come I'm not writing? But in that 3 years' time, I've hit more stages. So it's not like the message died. It's not like the message went away. It just changed it. God just changed its delivery. So its delivery was different. You still get to eat. I just ain't had to cook it. Like, like the delivery was different. So we have to learn what these experiences teach us. Yes, God is going to fight our battles. Yes, we have angels that go in war on our behalf. But you still got to know how to fight. Because the enemy thinks you a punk. Not me, the enemy. The enemy thinks you a punk. Because when something happens, you go and cry. Because for me, something happens, I'm out. Oh, you want this workspace? Keep it. Keep it. I don't, this what you want? I'm out. You can have it. Exit stage left. Like, I'm not gonna fight you. This what you want? I'm not gonna fight you. But God is like, what if I brought you there to fight? So we have to know when it's our season to war up. We got to know when it's our season to fight. We got to know when it's our season to be like, I ain't getting my hands dirty. I got a click that's going to go ahead and take care of this. Like we got to be, but we got to be prepared. And sometimes the training is not always what we expect, what we like. It doesn't always feel good. We start asking, well, why me? Why do I have to go this? How come I can't be the one to do this, that, and the other? Well, because it's not ladies' choice. Like life ain't always ladies' choice. You don't always get to say what you want, who you want, how you want it, when you want it. You don't always get to say that. So, what do we do? Day by day, we got to learn day by day. We got to push. We got to fight for our evolution, for our growth. I don't want to be the same as I was when I was 20. I don't want to be the same as I was when I was 16. There ain't nothing about my 16-year-old mindset that I desire. Because if I had that 16-year-old mindset in this world at this state and age, baby, she would get eaten alive. So we have to fight for our evolution. We have to fight for our spiritual growth, our emotional growth, our financial growth. Because there are demons who are rapists. And we're over here loving on the victim. I'm here for the people. I show up and do this work for the people. I love y'all, but I ain't doing this for y'all. Because the weight of it all, nah, I don't love you. I don't, nah. I love y'all, but I don't love y'all that much. Nah, that's just a little bit too much. There's only a handful of folk. Only a handful of folk. I'm telling you, there's only a handful of folk that I love so much that I would do, that I would do a little outlandish for. But it ain't for strangers. Nah. I got love for God's people for real, for real. But yeah, nah. But I do it anyhow. I protest, but I still get it done. But I got to be wiser. I can't be all out here. Oh, I got a mission statement. Because that's what they tell you in business. You need a mission statement. And I talk to my students all the time that I do the business coaching with, and it's like, well, why do you want to start this business? I want to be in it for the people, right? I want to help the people. The people need this, girl. Bye. Because you know what, the people do need it, but the people ain't gonna come and get it. They not, right? And Harriet ain't trying to drag you to freedom. Okay, I don't think that was part of her story. She wasn't trying to drag nobody to freedom. She done left her daggone husband like, oh, you don't want this, all right, sir, I got a mission. I gotta do this because God is calling me to do it. But we get to this space where we think that we are the sacrificial lamb, and we're not, right? That's the rapist mentality, right? Where we think we're the sacrificial lamb, right? I'm certain Olivia Benson, probably thought that was her fate, because that's what she deals with day in, day out, was rape. So why not? And it's like, nah, we're not the sacrificial lamb. We're not. We're not the sacrificial lamb. We are the disciples. We are the remnant. We are the workers. And yes, we go through stuff, but we go through stuff to fulfill the purpose of God. Because if God tells me to stop writing books, then I stop. If God says, nah, I don't need you on the stages anymore, then I don't hit the stages anymore. Not that the people don't need it, but I'm not a slave. I'm not a I'm not a slave to the people. I'm a servant of the Lord. It's a difference. It's a difference. And there are certain things that the Lord will allow us to go through, but it's to teach us something about ourselves. And if you don't want to be devoured, if you don't want to be spiritually, emotionally, financially, and mentally raped, if you don't want to be a victim of that anymore, right? Because you have, but you don't want to experience that anymore, then you have to learn. You got to learn from the things that you go through. You got to learn. And it's not about a woe, it's me. It's not about a woe, it's me. It's not about, oh, I've experienced this, so let me tell you about how to do this. It's about the season in which God needs you to stand as a servant. Are you pro the people, or are you against the enemy? We got to learn how to fight in both realms. We got to be able to get in multiple rings. We got to know how to do, we need some WWE. We got to learn how to do some UFC. We got to learn how to do the pro box. Like, we got to learn how to maneuver in different realms. Because when God has us safe in the land of milk and honey, we're thriving. But baby, the minute you get a hint of getting outside the Garden of Gethsemane, once you step outside, now all of a sudden your world is crumbling. And he's like, oh, MG, I need you to strengthen up. You can't be great in the land of milk and honey when you're on the stage, when everything is good, when your money is good. You can't be great then, and then when it's not, you bad. That's counterproductive. So we got to learn. We have to experience so that we can learn. So you can be content in any situation. You in prison, I'm learning. Spiritual prison, I'm learning. You in the projects, the spiritual projects, I'm learning. So you gotta find out. Gotta make sure you're fighting the right thing. Gotta make sure you're fighting the right thing. So you can stand tall. You can stand firm. You can stay anchored. So yeah. It's not to disrupt you. It's not to make you have a bad day. In fact, it's the exact opposite. I always talked about my year in therapy with Jesus, best year of my life. hardest year of my life. And then I thought after the year in therapy, I was going to be in the land of milk and honey, for lack of a better terminology, right? I thought I was going to be on easy street. I did my year in the trenches, and I thought I was going to be, um, victorious and everything. But after that year in therapy with Jesus, then I had to start coaching. So I went from having Jesus as my therapist to having Jesus and the Holy Spirit as my coaches. So now I'm in training yet again. And from my therapy with Jesus, I've learned to confront feelings, I've learned to confront situations, I've learned to confront. Because otherwise I would ignore, I would act like it didn't happen, I would just put it out of sight, out of mind. And what I've had to learn to do is to confront. I am one of the least confrontational individuals you'll probably ever meet. If you like it, I love it. Okay, if that's the type of life you want, okay, boo boo. Hey, I'm a good supporter. I will support you through your cuckoo craziness if you need me to. That's just the type of person I am. Yeah, you like it? Hey, baby, go for it, right? But it's like, what are we doing? You can't always just go along to get along. You got a responsibility. And sometimes that responsibility is to confront and to disrupt. So I've had to learn how to confront. Like, oh, Jesus, I feel like this. He like, give it to me, give it to me. That's what he used to say during therapy. Give it to me, give it to me. What you feeling? Give it to me, give it to me, give it to me. And I learned to give it over to him. And then he would cut it up. Thank you, Lord. He would cut it up and then he would spoon it back to me. But wait a minute, it hurt. I had to get rid of it. I had to hot potato. I had to get it out of my hand. And he's like, give it to me, give it to me. He took it and then he cut it up. And he and then why'd I gotta take it back? Yeah, you gotta take it back. Because it was never to harm you. It was to grow you. It was to protect you. It was to shield you. It was to love you. Like, so there's a lesson in it, but oftentimes when we're going through stuff, we can't see that. So from the therapy, I learned to give it over to him. From the coaching, I got to sit there and eat it because there's a lesson. And even if having to go through the trauma, it's not to make you, woe, it's me. It may just teach you how to fight. Because there may be an instance where you are going to have to rise up on somebody. And you got to learn how to not be like them. You can't be conformed, right? And start cursing them out. You got to learn how to fight the enemy. So it's all learning. It's all a new experience. That's why I say I'm constantly learning. So if I say something that disrupts you, yeah, I don't know. I'm learning. Give me some grace. Give me some grace. But that's what this journey is about. This journey is about living. This journey is about loving. This journey is about learning. And sometimes it confronts. But all the time you'll be better because of it. So for that, I trust God for this journey. I don't know the steps. Like I said, I don't know what I be saying. I don't know when I'm going to say it on these segments. I can't tell you what I'm going to talk about next week. You just got to tune in to see. I don't know. But when we learn together, we become better. And that's what we need. We need a stronger, a more united remnant. That's what we need. That is the true essence of being my sister's keeper, my brother's keeper. It's not fighting the battles for them, but it's helping them to fight the battles themselves. So that's it. That's all I got for you guys. Yes, yes, yes. We need this so we can grow and glow. Amen, amen, amen. So, you all go forward. Have a beautiful and blessed day. I will see you all tomorrow, God willing. And day by day, bite by bite. That's it, right? Bite by bite. So, I will see you all. Have a beautiful